Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Glad you made it. It's not a social production. We're doing it on Wednesday, November 20th, 2024. Welcome back. If you're just joining me today, if it's your first time, buckle up, buckle down. Where can you find these videos? On Instagram, follow me there. Subscribe on the YouTube channel so you get the full-length videos. Check out patreon.com/RobSadrio if you'd like to fiscally, financially support the show. Wherever you're tuning in from, whether it's Canada, down south in the United States, further down south, Wagwan, Mexico, Wagwan in South America, over there in Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia, Thailand, Taipei, Bangkok, over there in the Zimbabwe, over there in Portugal, the Finnish people, back down there in Italy, over there in Morocco, over there in Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, Egypt, all over the world. Globally, you're underwater, overwater, hovering all over, in a volcano. You're camping on the edge of the mountain, Mount Everest. You built a little shack. You're not even living in a shack. You're hanging off a cliff in a tent. You're sleeping in a tent. You're using Starlink satellites to watch this show. Oh no, what is that? It's a goat. There's a goat right beside your tent. Bring it in the tent. Drink its milk, raw milk, and then kill the goat and then eat the goat because you're hanging off a cliff on Mount Everest. Crazy. How'd you get there? Nonetheless, welcome back. Glad you made it, everybody. Thank you for joining me. It is Wednesday. It's Wednesday. We're doing it. I'm excited to be amongst you once again, kicking and screaming, the living and the loving the life that is ours to share. I put the yogurt in the bag. I put the yogurt in the bag. Put the yogurt in the bag. Bitch, I put the yogurt in the bag. I put that yogurt in the bag. She likes it. I put that yogurt in the bag. She asking for more. I put that yogurt in the bag, dog. Put that yogurt in the bag. Put that yogurt in the bag. Put that yogurt in the bag, y'all. Can't help it, but I put that yogurt in the bag. God, I can't help myself because I just put that yogurt in the bag. I put that yogurt in the bag. Thank you, Chicago. Let's do this together. It is Wednesday. There's a lot to discuss, of course. I put the yogurt in the bag, y'all. I put that yogurt in the bag. God damn. Ladies and gents, it is, yes, it is Wednesday. Let's get right into it. So many things to discuss. First and foremost, let's recap what happened over the weekend. Amazing fights. A lot of fisting went down. Lessons learned from the Tyson versus Paul fight. The best fight, I'm going to say, of that evening, I believe there were 4 fights. The chicks, there were 2 chicks, and I'm not a huge boxing fanatic. I don't know everybody's names, but I'm just trying to learn as much as possible, everything as much as I can. Many of you folks out there, the ladies who fought were nuts. These bitches were crazy. Shout out to them, just fucking fisting it, bleeding, going at it, head to head, toe to toe. Oh, invigorating, exhilarating, titillating, exciting action, boxing, brought to you by Fem Boxing. You got yourself a new fan. I'll say this, but lessons learned though. Lessons learned from the Tyson versus Paul fight. From now on, I thought about this after watching it. It was, it was what we thought it was gonna be. It was what the majority of us, it was what we thought we were gonna get. It was for freezies, so no harm, no foul. Lessons learned. From now on, moving forward, at first I thought, you know what, I never ever want to see anybody, above a certain age ever fight again. That was my first reaction. But then I thought to myself, I'm like, hold it there, don't be if people are free people, if they want to be free, automated, free augmented, free autonomous peepsies, if they want to be doing their own shits out there, supports it. So I'm all for it. Minor little, just food for thought. From now on, moving forward, if there's going to be elderly gentlemen or ladies fighting in boxing and mixed martial arts, I do want to be seeing you juice to the gills. I'm not quite sure if Mike Tyson was juicing. He's always had that physique, but I don't know. But that's the thing. If you want to if you want to put on a show and it's if it's contact sports, I do, even non-contact sports. If I see an elderly chess player, I just want to see you come with a needle stick stick a needle in your neck and come there and play the Queen's Gambit or whatever it is that you do, I do, yes. So from now on, moving forward, because I was like, oh, I don't want to see the elderly, fight anymore. But then again, I changed my mind immediately. I'm like, no, I do want to see them. It's just minor little adjustments need to be made from now on. Juice them to the gills. If you're above the age of, I'm just gonna, just from 45 and above, if you're competing, in mixed martial arts, boxing, anything contact or non-contact, I want you to just be dripping. I want your coaches to be there between the sets, between the, rounds, just needle in the eyeball, just stick and move. You know what I'm talking about? Just get it in a test 300, DECA, D-ball, whatever it takes. Get you a little bit of estrogen, because I don't want you to get bitch tits after the fights, but I do want to see ample amounts of testosterone. I want to see that rage in you. I want to see you just, because it is what it is. You go in there, you're full-grown adults, you make the decisions. We all support it. We all want to see you, do your thing. So from now on, just minor little requests, if possible. The mature category, is that what it's called? Mature? People who are fighting, who are in the mature category. Just juice to the gills, it's, give it all you got. I wanna see a bull, I wanna see a ripe, bull get their semen, squeeze it, put it in a syringe and stick it in someone's ass and spank them on the bum and send them off in the middle of the ring and have them, fucking go toe to toe with anybody, any age. And again, but I believe there is a thing happening too, just for sports, sports with roids versus natty sports. I think there's a league happening. I'm again trying to keep up to date with as many things as possible, like many of you out there. I believe because people want to see it. I want to see every sport, natty versus juice. I want to see, NBA on steroids, even though, some might already be on. I'm not going to speculate or what have you, but I do want to see soccer players who are taking roids, who are just, smashing the ball into the back of the net. I want to see gymnasts just backflipping, sticking themselves and their competitors with needles filled with roids and just hovering in midair, not even, fighting gravity. I want to see that. But that was the lesson learned. Beautiful. It was great. Glad everybody got a chance to see Mike Tyson, of course, fight. That was beautiful. And yeah, I supports it. The money bags for everybody. Everybody gets a money bag. UFC 309. Fantastic. Thank you again for the beautiful programming. Jon Jones, probably the GOAT, one of the GOATs. I don't particularly, I'm not a big fan of that term, just because again, it's like within time frame. It's with, you can't compare people, because everybody, you have a certain time, especially in the fighting game, especially in the sweet science of the fighting game. It's a limited time only, So these people at their peaks, Jon Jones right now, one of the GOATs, one of the greatest. Who do I want him to see, fight next? I think he'll, he's the type that'll just mollywop a bitch. So I don't know who's out there. Does he even need to at this point? Not if he, no, he doesn't absolutely need to. He's going to go down as one of the greats. Pereira would be interesting. For me. Again, I'm just a fan. But again, we'll see how the cards play out. Charles Oliveira versus Iron Mike Chandler, that was a pretty good fight. That was really interesting as well. Bo Nickel, amazing performance. Despite, people say that I'm an admirer. That's why I'm an admirer, because it's things that, particular people do that the rest of us get to enjoy vicariously. So I'm just like, hells yes. I'm excited for people. Hell yeah, keep doing what you're doing. Thank you for all the fighters, for all the organizers, everybody out there, the fans, all of us coming together, jizzing together, climaxing together. When people climax together, they get closer. That's what I've learned. So, but Jon Jones, who do I want to see him fight out? Godzilla, dude. Bring in Godzilla. I think Godzilla doesn't stand a chance against Mike Jones, but that's Jon Jones. Sorry, I don't know why I said Mike Jones, but just say it. Godzilla probably, just tiny arms, but you get the leg sweeps in there, put him in a chokehold, put him in a triangle. I'm all for it. Let's see that fight happening. Lots of exciting things are happening in and around the world. I'll say this, China was just at it again, stealing in broad daylight. I've had enough of it. It needs to stop. Stealing intellectual property. China is at it again. They've been doing it for some time, but this one is just a doozy. I've had enough, China. It's one thing to it's one thing to produce pretty much all the goods in the world, but it's another thing when you go after our intellectual property. That's when I just, oh, my nips get hard. It needs to stop. What happened? Recently, they just had a 21-year-old, I believe, student in China went out there and stabbed, like it killed 8 people and wounded many others. So there you go. That's another instance of the East stealing what is clearly a Western tradition. It's our thing, okay? And I lump Canada and the United States together when I speak sometimes, most of the times, just because we're like, I've said this, I'll say it again, until we become one great nation, Canada, one nation under God, for those who believe, for those who practice, under aliens for others, under just, gravity for whoever else is out there just being a skeptic of everything. But yes, that's our thing. Mass shootings, students going to school, that's our thing, China. Get it straight. Yeah, I draw the line, yeah. Stealing intellectual property on how to make iPhones with no Apple signage on it. I'll say fine, they're made cheaper in your region and we'll take it for the time being. But I draw when you're taking culture and just cultural appropriation, bros, that's our thing. And that goes to show you, that's just one of those, it's sad, of course, it's a tragedy whenever it happens, but that's a Western thing, fam. Get it straight. And it's one of those indicators that yes, you can definitely, there's no point of even like arguing for taking away the guns, because clearly crazy's gonna crazy with knives, with spoons, with God knows what else. If you take the knives, well, they'll come at you with a friggin', plastic straw or paper straw and just make it a aggravating afternoon for you. Drink up with this paper straw. God, yeah, this is killing me. He'll say that or whatever. But I'm just saying, man, it's a tragedy. But again, get your own things, China. Do your own thing, all right, playa? But also, it's good to cooperate and share. We are all one community after all. There's also that side of it too. I don't know. But yes, there's no point of even discussing taking away guns makes no sense. Because you do see instances like that when it happens, when we do have school shootings or whatever, and then you'll hear, "Oh, take the guns away." Well, then there you go. You have people stabbing, which sucks way more than shooting. They both suck, of course, but getting stabbed sucks way more because it's like the same knife, which is gross. Because you see people getting stabbed, you're like, that guy's off his rocker. He's just stabbing a fella. Oh, he's coming close to. Oh, he's not even wiping, and now you got other people's blood mixing in with it, which is gross, which is disgusting. Or if it's like a rusted dull, getting stabbed with a dull knife, just a rusty dull knife that's been used on like 7 other folks. How gross is that? You pretty again, horrible circumstance, but you always got to be looking for the what can we learn? What can we at least with guns? You're like, all right, I'm not sharing I'm not sharing bullets here. This isn't, at least I get my own. That's the positive aspect of that. And they did it different. It's not like, because normally when you do have the school shooters or mass shooters or what have you, they're like, they're I don't know, whatever you want to call them. They're cray. They're out there doing their thing. But this guy his reasoning was he was sad he didn't get a good enough mark or grade on his papers or whatever, so he ended up with a lousy job with a lousy pay. So he essentially wanted to he was competing to get better grades. His aggravation was because he got shitty grades. That was his aggravation, which is crazy because that doesn't happen in the West. Nobody goes and nobody says, it's mostly people who are already getting the good grades are not doing too well socially or whatever in school life and all that, and then you're like, okay, that kind of wants to be accepted somehow or whatever, wants to probably get laid. This guy was probably not getting laid, got grades but we're not good, so he was competing to become a bigger nerd, which is, again, they're doing it, they got their own spin on it. I guess it's not technically the same thing, but also I see you, China, with the intellectual property theft. Quit it already. But also, like, I guess at one point it would be nice to have a community of just people globally come. Well, it's a, you know, one step at a time, of course. But that's, yeah, that is, do it right. If you're gonna, you know what I mean, just come up with your own thing. That's our thing. It's totally our thing. Let's get a sip of this bad boy. It's Wednesday, baby. We're doing it. Come back when you're gay. Come back when you're gay. There are people, you know, obviously all around the world. It's, you know, people have been migrants, people have been immigrants, people have been moving around, traveling for thousands of years. It's part of our story. It's part of the communal human story. You know, places sometimes due to whatever reason are not habitable, are not, you know, good for raising a family, whatever. People leave their places of birth sometimes and then they immigrate to other regions and make that their new home. There are now statistics apparently are coming out and saying that asylum seekers are coming out into the West, into places like the UK. And one of the ways they're hoping to get asylum, get that application approved, they're saying that they're gay. Because that's one of the ways that you can actually get in and kind of have your, I guess, papers, you know, be approved. How do you even prove that? But how do you prove? There's many issues I have with this. Because one thing, that's a little bit of gay privilege right there. It's a little bit of gay, that's, you know, and I guess that's a good thing. Because every group, every category of people, whatever you identify with, not to just put yourself in a box and just be like, that one thing is my sole identity and my entire life revolves around that one thing, whatever it may be, whether it's sexuality, whether it's religion, whether it's school of thought, whether it's politics, whether it's a sports team, whether it's a haircut, whether it's a pair of, whatever it is. It does suck to see people who are like hetero getting turned around, because you might have families who genuinely need to get away. And I'm guessing they'll come to the border or whatever place, and they'll have, like, you know, a wife and maybe 2 kids, and the border agent might ask them, you know, what have you been doing? Why are you leaving your place of origin? And they might say something along the line, it's not safe. They just be murking people, cray on the Sharia or whatever. They might say that, and that's not good enough. And the border agents might ask you if you've done any gay shit. Because if they see you with a wife and a kid or a couple of kids, they'll say, turn around, go back wherever you came from, unless you've done gay shit, which is gay privilege. In which case I would say just be like, I had to, just if you know, because my heart goes out, I get it, you know, I get it. You need to get away or whatever, I get it. But that, you know, you got to prove you're gay at the border, essentially. You got to, if you're coming in there with a wife and just don't look at them too lovingly. Just look at the kids and the wife as sort of like the ball and chain, which is not too far of a stretch. It's a lot of stress raising a family, or your husband and children. Look at them as kind of a burden and be like, oh, I'd much rather do gay stuff. I just can't. In my place of origin, just say something along the lines of, but then how do you prove you're gay? You know, because you could say, I'm totally gay. I'm totally gay for freedom. I'm so gay for freedom right now. I want to just come to the West, whether it be Europe or the Americas, and just want to be super gay. Can't be super gay. You got to keep it. That's DL gay, on the down low gay. You know, gay with consequences. Gay with, you know, stoning. Gay with hanging. Gay with, you know, gay with fucking a lot of adrenaline. Gay with repercussions. I want to be free. I want to be super gay. Say that, but then you got to prove it somehow. Maybe bring some photos of your, you know, of your coming of age story, or just, you know, from your younger days when you did gay shit. Have it on video, have it on tape, you know what I mean? Just doing anal, just raw dogging a fellow, or getting rimmed up. Or if you're a lady, you know, I'm a total lesbian. Meanwhile, you've not done any les stuff. Guess what? Take your heterosexual ass back to wherever you came from. All right? Gays only. Come back when you're gay. You gotta, you know, make videos, take photos of you just scissoring out on the streets of wherever that doesn't, you know, allow it. So just make sure you have evidence. And if you don't have that, you come there, you gotta like be ready to do some gay stuff at the board, I guess. Because how else, you can't just be like, I can't just like, you know, you can't have people rolling up and saying, oh, I'm totally gays for you. You gotta prove it. So we should have border agents who are totally gay. Or maybe they're not even totally gay. Maybe that's just then that'd be discriminatory. We should totally just hire border agents who are willing to do gay stuff with applicants who are saying they're gay. And we are not just looking for gay border agents. As a matter of fact, to be totally equal in all of this, we heterosexuals who are looking for a good job, we have people coming through that are saying they're gay. We need you to get there, soldier, and do some gay shit for your country, just to prove to whether, you know, we got to see if these asylum seekers are gay or not. We got to, and is one time gay, you know what I mean? Because, like, you know, I've shot a couple of basketballs in my day. That doesn't make me a basketball player. You know what I'm saying? Player. So I'm just saying, if they just come and like deep throat you once, does that make them gay? You got to follow these fellas and ladies around for a lifetime. Now we got to put cameras on them, make sure the only sex that they have is gay. So there's a lot of work that goes into it, but I don't appreciate the fact that it's, you know, it's anti-heterosexual asylum seekers, because it's a lot of pressure. You come in there with 3 kids and a wife. Now you got to just first time. And you're like 100% hetero. Now you gotta suck cock, and it's like, oh, on top of everything. It would work out super well for those people who are genuinely gay, because you could totally get in there and just be sucking on the way, sucking in fucking gay style on the way to the, you know, to the border, at the border, just, you know, rip the pants off the border agents and, you know, just just all of it right there. Just deep throat, spit, swallow, all just do the dirt. But they gotta see it, and you gotta work for it too, and you gotta mean it too. It can't be just like faking it. You gotta like put in that work. I want to see beads of sweat. I want to see a little bit of passion. I want to see you walking away thinking, hey, was this more than a one night stand? Was this more? Is there? I want to see. You know, you gotta be fucking dedicated to this. But yes, do come back when you're gay, all right? None of this heterosexual asylum seeking, because we got plenty of those. We need more gay. That's right. Come back when you're ready to friggin' go share a dildo with a lady. That's when you get to come in. And if you're one of those asexual people that doesn't have sex at all, so you get out of here. You're not even welcome at all. Get out of here. Heterosexuals pretending to be gay so they can get in. You're coming in here, you're not even willing to have sex. Get out. Ladies and gentlemen, it's cray, but it's happening all around the world. It's nice. We're doing it together, baby. It's Wednesday, and it is, you know, the game is changing in terms of travel, which is nice. I've always showed a little bit of interest in us upgrading the airplanes. The leg room can definitely use a little bit of upgrade. You know, getting rid of children on airplanes could definitely be a thing. You know, making smoking available on airplanes could definitely come back. Everybody seems to be unanimously for that. I don't know why we're being, you know, I don't know why we're holding ourselves back, really. It's get out of your own way, they say. I'll say this, Elon Musk's SpaceX is now, you know, contending to be potentially the replacement of air travel. Airplanes might be out the window, out the door in the next few years, decades, maybe 5-10 years from now. Speculation is coming around. The same rockets that we're using to potentially go to Mars and orbit the whatevers might be used to do cross-continental travel and in a fraction of the time, which is nice. They're saying we can potentially be going from like New York or like from Toronto to Shanghai in like 45 minutes. 45 minutes, I spend 45 minutes, you know, just traveling from one point of the city to the next, so that's just congestion time. But 45 minutes getting across the globe using these beautiful shuttles, pros and cons to everything, baby. I'll say this, you know, the beautiful thing about this is that I don't think you're gonna need to, you know how like in airplanes you'll have seat belts. I don't think the SpaceX shuttle, because it's, once it takes off, I think you're fighting a lot more, you know, there's G-forces coming in, fam. I think there's the G-force, you gotta fight the G-force. I think they'll just like let you loose, maybe like hold on to something, like just a little, you know, just a little bar, hang off the bar, just, because you can't fight G-force with seat belts, and it's pretty lame because it's like a brand new thing, but we're still incorporating like old tech. I don't want to see seat belts. The flight times are going to be shorter, which doesn't give you the typical classic, you know, however long trip you've normally experienced. That sucks in a sense, because On flights, you got to meet strangers who might become acquaintances, who might become friends, who might become love interests. Finding love on the airplane used to be one of those romantic things. Oh, where you go? I'm traveling for business. Are you traveling for business too? No, I'm doing pleasures. And then you might exchange numbers. You might get a little hand job under the carry-on or whatever. You might get a little bit of action online on the flights, but 45 minutes is not enough time to make those connections. And again, I think the G-force, the impact is going to be, you're going to have to hold on with just make sure you get a low center of gravity, because once this thing like takes off, you're going to be just shitting your pants. Which also brings me to my next point. I think I've always been an advocate of this. Traveling in the air I think we should just get rid of clothing items. So I think traveling with the SpaceX shuttles would allow people to get naked and just, because it's sweaty, it's a mess. It's rocket fuel just jetting you off at God knows what, thousands of kilometers or miles per hour. I'm still, again, these are in the talks, these are the early stages. I feel a little bit like, and down the line, yes, of course, vertical landing, gets me hard personally. But it is a little bit still, I don't feel 100% secure being caught by two little chopsticks. Why don't we, that's great, keep doing whatever you're doing. Obviously, I'm not saying I know what I'm talking about at all. I don't know anything about anything. But why did we go with the chopstick method? Why didn't we, because it is a shaft and it is landing vertical, why didn't we just make like a circular rubber, like a cock catcher, like a sort of like a dream catcher, but made for like a cock ring, but for the shuttle, because they're landing vertically, right? What if you got like a magnetic / rubber shaft shuttle ring, and then the shuttle just kind of plummets slowly into it, instead of, because the chopstick, it's worked obviously, but this still makes me a little bit, I don't want to be getting in it yet, but like 5-10 years when it's perfect, maybe get the shuttle to land with the assistance of the chopstick, but also add a cock ring for the shaft to be embedded inside, so it's just a smooth. So the beauty of it is that if it does explode, you'll probably instantaneously combust, because it's a rocket meant to go to space. So a lot more fuel and energy. You'll burn very quickly. You won't feel a thing. Unlike a plane, which will sometimes crash and have you, just have you cut in half, and you'll see your limbs, you'll see your legs in one place, and you're like, oh, those are my legs. That's my bag, and those are my legs. You'll say that as you're bleeding from your intestine, which sucks. But given the shuttles, ample amounts of fuel, and the fact that, again, they were meant for space exploration, I think you'll just kind of like eviscerate into nothing. You'll burn very quickly. You won't feel a thing. It'd be nice. In the future, it's going to be great. I am going to be bummed out to see less airplanes flying in mid. You won't see that happening, and you'll say goodbye to horizontal lines, man-made lines in the sky. It'll all just be vertical landing and vertical takeoffs, which is nice. But yes, take all the time. Next time you see an airplane, know that it's going to be in the next few years, we're probably going to be, if they're not totally replaced, they're going to have competition. So it's no longer will you just be seeing horizontal lines. You'll see vertical lines going up and down, which is pretty fucked up, but nice. We're for it. We support it. I support vertical landing. Taking hard stances. What else is happening in and around the world? I'll say this. I read that eye tattoos are becoming more and more, popular apparently amongst who, I don't know, but eye tattoos are becoming more, I read this, I don't know if I have not seen an eye tattoo in person yet. There are people going blind from this. People are going blind, but that will not stop us. That will not stop human beings to going out there and saying, you know what, tap me up on the retina, I want it in my eyeball, give it to me now, please. You might lose your eyesight, which is, if you lose one of your senses, you'll probably gain something. So that's pretty cool. But personally, that's where I draw the line. I don't want to I would not date a person. I'm just saying, I'm just putting it, because you got to draw a line somewhere. You got to have, because if you don't believe in something, something will be, if you don't stand up for one, if you don't believe in, you'll fall for, if you don't fall asleep on any, if you don't believe in falling asleep on something, you'll fall asleep anywhere. They'll say that. And that's true. So eyeball tattoos, I don't want to see that, because I've seen a few chicks with face tats. I'm for it. If you're famous and you're a millionaire, if you're successful, face tats, I'm for it. If you're a rag person in the streets, face tats, get away from me. I'll say that straight up. I don't want you, well, I like you, I love you as a human being, but also you got so much more dermis you could be working with. I've seen a bunch of was at a McDonald's drive-thru, saw a bunch of teenagers with face tattoos, these young girls with face tats. I was just like, Jesus Christ, it's a lot. It's just, you got a lot more. If it's just, I'm saying, work with the, don't go straight to face. Unless, again, you're a millionaire, you're successful, you're a celebrity, I support it. Then you're cool, then yes, let's do it. You're a good person, we support it. Rag people, face tattoo, not so much. Eyeball tattoo, let's not have you come out in daylight. That's just my personal opinion. But if we're cool with it, then I suppose we are cool with it. But eye tattoos got to be at a play where, if you got to be covered up head to toe, you should be blacked out. I shouldn't be seeing any empty space. That's when I can say, okay, fine, they've colored in everything, but now they're going to but even then, I recommend you still look inside. Look inwards to find the answer that you're searching for. And you'll be surprised at what you could find easily. I'd say look inside. It shouldn't stop you to prolapse your asshole and tattoo your asshole once it's hanging on the outside. Tattoo that first before you go. If you're getting an eye tattoo and you don't have your prolapsed anus tattooed, I've got questions, because that's still skin. It's inside. Again, I said look inside to find the answers you're looking for. Lips, inside your lips, that's been done, of course. Inside your labia, ladies, I must emphasize this. And that's the thing too, they say don't judge a book by its cover and all. For the most part, we don't, but also as people, we are a little bit, everybody is, right? Whether you want to call it judgmental, whether you want to call it just discrimination based on the fact that you want to search and find what's safe, what works, what is trustworthy. I actually did go out on this. I've not even shared this story, because I wanted some time to pass a little bit so I could talk about it without, I'm not going to mention any names, of course, or anything, but I went on a date a while ago, a few months ago. Beautiful lady, beautiful woman, had a little tattoo on her face, and I saw it, and I'm like, she looks so beautiful. She looks like a lovely human being. It was a tiny little face tattoo. It was fine, tiny. I'm like, what? Times are changing. She's probably a good person. Go out there, have fun. Whatever happens, happens. Get to know people. Said that to myself. Don't judge a book by its cover. And then I went down. She came to the date. Within 2 minutes of sitting down, she's telling me about the fact that she's not taken any pills today. And that was the mood for the. So I was like, right off the bat, in 2 minutes, we come down, sit to have a drink, and you're like, not taking. And she didn't go into this specifications of what kind of pills or whatnot. I'm just like, man, I don't want to, I was just looking for a little bit of, I don't know, and I'm not judging or anything, but I'm just saying, come in, and down the line, she's telling me she wants to do she wants to try heroin, and I'm like, that's, again, I supports it, but do that on your own time, and that was lessons learned on my part. Unless you're a filthy rich celebrity or successful person, then I'm gonna say not for this guy. Face tattoo, not for this guy, because face tattoo 1 second, dropping hints of you not taking your pills, and then going into I want to try heroin. Heroin is, heroin should be, if you want to try, if you're 99, you're about to go, then maybe if you're I'm a little bit curious about heroin, then I don't want you to be in your mid-20s or early 30s and be like, what are we gonna do? I wonder. What is, I'm not interested. I don't judge it for, or maybe I do. Maybe a little bit of me does. Because the second I heard these interests of extracurriculars, and I've got mine, but they're they're for whatevs, and to each their own. But I'm just saying, face tattoo scares me a little bit. Most people are good people though. I'll say there's plenty of people that we love and adore. And again, they're celebrities, they're famous, they're rich, they're successful. You need to be successful in order to get face tattoos. Eyeballs, same thing. Successful tattoos, successful pieces. Eyeballs should be, again, if you're not, your urethra should be tattooed first. If you're not opening your pee hole for the tattoo artist to tattoo, then you're like, then you're not finished. Look inwards to find the answers you're searching for. Inside I would even go inside the eyelid. Do that first, like flip it over, tattoo inside your eyelid. Then after you're finished with it, then lose an eye. Then you could say, yes, go ahead and like color in the white part of my eye. Then, but those are just my personal opinions and life experiences. You please do as you wish. Of course, don't ever listen to me for anything other than your entertainment purposes only. Other than for shits and the giggles. Subscribe now. Good times, good times. I want to try heroin, please. I'm trying to make podcasts here. Ladies and gentlemen, what else is going on in and around the world, man? I'll say this. It's beautiful things are happening. Biden recently and he's going to be in office, I believe, till January. I believe that's when Trump takes over. And we've heard all the talk that Trump is going to get there and hopefully he'll help end the ongoing wars in many regions, and more piss is going to be around. We're for peace, piss all around us. We're people for humanity, for piss. Everybody can get behind piss. Everybody loves piss. Worldwide piss. But before Trump gets in, Biden is still in office. I guess, I don't know. But he just okayed the long-range missiles use for Ukraine inside of Russia, which was exciting, hella exciting. And Russia saw that, Putin saw that, and he went like, I see your long-range missiles, just putting it on the table, putting it on, we got nukes and we're not, and so that discussion is now, it's been apparently, I just read 1,000 days, they've been warring. There's so much war, so much. I already tired of it, wrap it up already. 1,000 days in and we're like, you know what's gonna solve this? Right before we get into the peace talks and wrap it, more missiles, which is nice. You really wanna make the job of the next president easier, to make more aggravations for just get in there. Before piss comes more missiles. And we're so close to some sort of and it just gets me to think, because we have so many nuclear weapons in and around. We've got like thousands of nuclear weapons. Everybody. Russia's got a whole bunch of them. The Western countries have a whole bunch. We've got so many nukes. It's crazy how we're just like teetering every day on the edge of like, here, take this, and they just poke and jab until, and it just leads me to think, I think to myself, we don't get rid of these nukes, like it will go off at one point, or is, because you have these militaries all around the world competing for like world dominance, power, regions, whatever you want to call it, and they've built them to use them. It's not like you build, it's not one of those things that you just get, and you just like, it's not a collector's item. You don't just like get the nuke and just like take it out of you don't like put on a two-piece swimsuit. You don't put on a bra and a thong and like, lather and soap up the nuke bomb and try to raise money for charity for kids who can't, walk backwards. You don't do that. It's for nukes, or for, you're not raising money. You're not rubbing your beautiful tits against the nuke bombs to raise money for, pirates without wooden legs. You're not trying to do that. You're not trying to raise money for, bats who can't fly at night. You're not in that community trying to give back. You are literally you might be soaking up your tits in soap and water and just lathering up the nukes to hopefully make them shiny and pretty so one day they do go off. And that's just one of those things. I'm just wondering, if we don't get rid of these things like ASAP, forget about yes, sure, so many other things that we could be taking care of, but that's like the numero uno danger for humanity. I can't, and it's just like, I wonder if it's gonna, one of these days, I just kind of think like, because we have like retarded people running the world, like retarded, power hungry people all across the globe. trying to like, compete for whatever it is that they're trying to compete for, dominance, power, staying in power and all that stuff. And it's whether it's Russia, whether it's you got North Koreans now going in and helping Russia, you got Iran, you got the whole Middle East thing, and then here's us right before we get talking about piss, we go in there and say, you know what, more long range missiles before. So if we're gonna, and it's funny because you do hear they're like, yes, both Zelensky and Putin have kind of try to get a feel for what's going on. They're kind of like open to ending, but like as soon as Trump comes. So you guys are open for piss talks if Trump comes, but you can't have the piss talks now, or you can't like make it better now. So yes, I do wonder if one of these nukes is gonna go off somewhere, which is gonna be horrible. Horrible for whoever else has to remain in the vicinity. For whoever gets impacted directly, it'll be direct annihilation. It will just be, which is tragic, but you won't have to, at least like if it's getting planted on your face, if that nuke goes off on your face or within a radius close enough to take you out, you won't feel anything, which is, it sucks, but you won't feel it. It's instant. The rest of the people, like further away people, that would suck. You can't go into the region, the soil becomes dirty, you can't grow any plants, trees, starts getting cold, a nuclear winter, people perishing, people dying for searching for, you got people fighting over food and resources now. And they're like, we got to worry about the temperature and the climate. Let's get rid of nukes first. Then maybe we can talk about, whether or not you want to carry out a umbrella with you for your next afternoon hike. But those are just personal opinions. Of course, I could be, I could just be, it's just one of those thoughts that I had. Like, I'm just like, any day it could be one of these, one of these little goblins just going nuclear. It's cray that we don't consider these things. How we still have thousands of nuclear bombs all around the world, especially with like AI and cyber security threats and all this. It's incredible how short-sighted we seem to be at times when it's like it's right there. At any moment, a devastating impact could just alter the course of humanity. And we're right at the point. We got chopsticks aiding rockets land, which is pretty fucking cool. You can get to Shanghai in 45. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. And again, we might end up having to fucking getting into like, if you're alive, if you're lucky enough to be able, you might have to go to like horse and buggies again, which sucks compared to the chopsticks, to chopstick landing gear, to then go to horse and buggy. Oh, horse shit. Do you know how most people are not used to it, but it's a lot of shit. I just drove by a farm the other day. Beautiful horses. They were taking dumps, massive dumps. You forget. I couldn't smell it or anything, but again, very close to horse shit for those of us who'd be lucky enough to even survive it. But, of course, the weather. But those are just, things that are happening in and around the world. I'll say this, if this could happen to anybody, if you are out there and you're like, man, I just shit my pants. Typically the appropriate or, normal thing to do would be for you to go home, pack your things and go home and like shower, get into new clothing items. But are you being a coward? Are you running away from your problems? That's when I say we should bring in a new method of just like kind of standing your ground. If you happen to shit your pants, I have a alternate way of dealing with the situation. Stand your ground and convince others around you to also shit their pants. That's the next move. Because it could happen to anybody. You think you're letting out a little toot, next thing you know, it's fucking Shard City, down, drip down your pant leg. And it could be embarrassing if it's just one person. But if it happens to 5 people, 10 people, 15 people in the office shitting themselves, how incredible would that be? So next time you accidentally, wink, wink, on purpose, shit your pants, instead of tucking your tail between your legs and excusing yourself to go home and clean up, stay there and whip up the conversation of, hey, fellas, ladies in the boardroom, and mi familia, and the, family barbecue, wherever you may be. Why don't we all just, for, social cohesion, for just building a little bit of camaraderie, building a little bit of, to get the sense of, let's hold hands and everybody And that way you don't need to go home. Not until like eventually you'll have to go home, of course. You're not gonna just like shit your pants and get a free pass to stay at whoever's place for life. You'll have to go, but not instantly. You won't have to have that embarrassing the lonely drive or subway ride back home. Stay there with your loved ones, with your friends, with your business acquaintances, whoever you're with. Bring up the point of, you know what, a team that shits together stays together. What's a little bit of fecal matter between buds? Say that, and I'm sure it'll go well. And again, it's just a new way of dealing with things because we are close to the New Year's. So yeah, people will come to the New Year and be like, oh, my New Year's resolution, start today. Look inwards to find the answers you are searching for. I put that yogurt in the bag, bitch. Put that yogurt in the bag and she like it. Finding your wife's or girlfriend's tits doppelganger is never easy. But it is something that you should take it upon yourself. Look at it as a quest, because there is a tit doppelganger for every wife or girlfriend or guma out there. But you're like, there's no way somebody has the same tits as my wife, girlfriend, or guma, or mistress, or side piece. And I say, have you even looked? Have you even searched out there to find your wife's or girlfriend's tits doppelganger? I believe they're out there. You're like, no, I know those nips. I know those nips. With the mole beside the nip, with the northwest corner of the nip, there's a little tiny mole. I know there's there's one strand of hair poking out the side. She plucks it every once in a while. It keeps coming. I know there's not one like it out there, but I say to you, my fellow brethren, sistren, have you looked? Or have you not even started? Start looking today, because I believe there is a tit doppelganger out there and you're missing out by not finding it. You've limited yourself. You're like, there's no way there's a replica of those. I know those tits. That shade of pink on the nip is unique to my lover. You'll say that. You've sold yourself a story and you bought it. I say challenge yourself. Get out there. Dig deep. Until next time, ladies and gents, boys and girls, I'll put the yogurt in the bag, bitch. Peace out.